The cold wind hit my face. The West Sea, midnight. My trembling hands gripped a flashlight as I stared into the darkness. The promised time had already passed by 10 minutes. Was it a scam, or had I already been caught? I felt like gunshots would ring out behind me at any moment. Then, a light blinked 3 times in the distance. I responded with my flashlight, 3 times. A black speedboat approached silently. This was my final choice. My name is Han Ji-hoon. It's an alias. I can't reveal my real name. I'm from Pyongyang, North Korea, and I was the head of the cryptocurrency hacking organization under the Workers' Party of Korea. Have you heard about it? The news that North Korea hacks cryptocurrency exchanges worldwide and steals trillions of won. I was the leader of that organization. A privileged apartment in central Pyongyang. Electricity and heating 247. Access to foreign currency stores. My children attended elite schools, and my wife used exclusive beauty salons. We were in the top 1% of North Korea. I took it for granted. I believed it was compensation for working for the revolution, for the homeland. But everything collapsed 2 years ago, when I went on a business trip to North Hamgyong province. The moment I got off the train, I was shocked. Children were rummaging through garbage in the square in front of the station. A girl, about 5 years old, was chewing on a rotten cornstalk. The market was empty, and people's eyes were dead. On my way back to the accommodation that evening, I saw candlelight through a house window. The electricity was cut off. It was unimaginable in Pyongyang. That night, I couldn't sleep. "Comrade, are you okay?" asked Lee Sung-ho, my deputy team leader. Sung-ho was a colleague I had worked with for 10 years. I shook my head. "I'm fine. Just tired." But I wasn't fine. The child's face kept appearing in my mind. I returned to Pyongyang, but something had changed. No, I had changed. Every morning on my way to work, leaving the privileged apartment complex, I wondered what's it like outside this fence. What about the outskirts of Pyongyang? The provinces? Our organization's work was simple. Hack cryptocurrency exchanges worldwide and extract Bitcoin and Ethereum. When an operation succeeded, we stole hundreds of billions, sometimes trillions of won worth. Where did that money go? Nuclear weapons development, missiles, and Kim Jong-un's personal slush funds. I was one of the people who directly managed those slush fund accounts. Cryptocurrency wallet addresses, overseas accounts, transaction records. I had permission to see everything. Until then, they were just numbers. But after seeing that child in North Hamgyong province, it was different. One night, I stayed alone in the office and opened Kim Jong-un's personal slush fund account. My hands trembled. The moment I saw the numbers on the screen, I couldn't breathe. 120,000 Bitcoin. Converting to the market price at that time, it was an astronomical amount. Plus Ethereum, overseas real estate, Swiss bank accounts. With this money, all North Korean citizens could eat for a year. No, 2 years were possible. Who was I stealing for? From that moment, everything looked different. The subordinate employees I faced every morning. The hackers coding all night. What were we doing this work for? Really for the homeland? Or to inflate one person's Swiss account? Then one day, an incident occurred. Park Chol-soo, one of my subordinates, a 28-year-old genius hacker. It was discovered that he had siphoned off a tiny amount of cryptocurrency during an operation. The amount was only worth $300, less than 1/10,000th of what we extracted in a single operation. The security department rushed in. Chol-soo was taken away. A week later, we were summoned to a collective ideological education session. The traitor Park Chol-soo betrayed the homeland and stole the people's property, and will be given the maximum sentence. A security department officer said coldly. Maximum sentence. It meant execution by firing squad. He made excuses that his mother was sick and needed medicine money. But this is nothing but the sophistry of a reactionary. I clenched my fists. I knew Chol-soo's mother was bedridden with tuberculosis. $300 could buy medicine. But for ordinary citizens who weren't in the privileged class, that money was unobtainable. Can you imagine being executed by firing squad for trying to save your mother? In an organization where we steal hundreds of billions every day. That night, I made a decision. I had to escape from this insane system. And I had to let the world know how they steal money and where that money goes. But escape wasn't easy. Our organization was under 24-hour surveillance by the security department. Not just emails, but even going to the bathroom was recorded. If you were suspected even once, it was over. I saw colleagues disappear, one by one. If they didn't come to work in the morning, that was the last. I carefully began preparations. I siphoned off cryptocurrency little by little from Kim Jong-un's slush fund account. 0.1 Bitcoin at a time. Distributed to multiple anonymous wallets. Over 6 months, I accumulated about 1.2 billion won worth. At the same time, I collected all evidence on one USB. Organization structure diagrams, account information, transaction records, list of victimized exchanges, screenshots of Kim Jong-un's slush fund accounts, internal documents, everything. And I made contact with a broker in China. I paid 1 billion won in cryptocurrency and planned an escape through the West Sea by speedboat. The problem was my family. My wife, my middle school son, my elementary school daughter. I couldn't take them with me. If 4 people moved, we would definitely be caught. I had to go out alone to reveal this information to the world. But was that the right choice? Leaving my family behind? 2 days before the escape, I called Deputy Team Leader Sung Ho separately. It was a quiet restaurant on the outskirts of Pyongyang. Sung Ho, I'm going to leave. Sung Ho put down his chopsticks and looked at me. His eyes wavered. Ji-hoon, snap out of it. What about your family? I can't take them. If 4 people move, it's over. So you'll go alone, leaving your wife and children? I lowered my head. I know too that this is a cowardly choice. But Sung Ho, the work we do. Is this right? Chol Soo died because of medicine money. Because of $300. But Kim Jong-un's account has trillions of won. Sung Ho was silent for a long time. Then he said quietly, I know too. But I can't go. I have my parents. I have my younger sibling. If I disappear too, my entire family goes to a camp. I know, so I'm asking, just don't report for 2 days. Just 2 days. Sung Ho closed his eyes. Then he nodded. 2 days. 2 days later, I'll report to the security department. That way at least my family survives. I'm sorry. No, thank you, Sung Ho. We raised our glasses. That was the last time. Escape Day, October 17, 2023, 11 p.m. I left the office saying I'd work overtime as usual. Inside my bag was only one USB and worn clothes. Instead of going home, I headed to the station. I secretly boarded a freight train. At 4 a.m., I arrived at a fishing village on the west coast. The designated coordinates. The wind blew like crazy. It was cold. My hands were so frozen they wouldn't move properly. 1 a.m. was the promised time. But even at 110 a.m., no one came. Was it a scam? Did I lose 1 billion won? Then, a light blinked 3 times in the distance. My heart raced. I also responded with my flashlight 3 times. A black speedboat approached silently. A man with a Russian accent gestured. I boarded. 3 mercenaries. Silent, cold eyes. They looked like former Special Forces soldiers. The boat departed. The engine sound cut through the darkness. Full speed. After about 10 minutes, a siren sounded from behind. Stop immediately. Stop immediately. It was a North Korean patrol boat. A searchlight illuminated our boat. My heart felt like it would explode. Bang, bang, bang. Gunshots. Water columns rose beside the boat. One mercenary threw a smoke grenade. White smoke covered the sea. The boat moved in zigzags. Bullets kept flying. I lay flat on the boat floor. I heard bullets passing by my ears. My wife's face came to mind. My son, my daughter, what am I doing right now? Is this right? NLL in 10 minutes. One mercenary shouted. The northern limit line. Once we crossed that line, North Korean boats couldn't pursue anymore. That one line separated life and death. Helicopter sounds from behind. A North Korean helicopter. The searchlight swept the sea. 5 minutes. The gunfire became more intense. The boat shook violently. I prayed. I didn't believe in God, but I prayed then. NLL crossed. The mercenary shouted. At that moment, the gunfire stopped. The helicopter circled in front of the line and turned back. I survived. 30 minutes later, a South Korean Navy patrol ship approached. A rope ladder came down. With trembling hands, I grabbed the ladder. When I climbed onto the deck, a Korean Navy officer said, "Welcome to the Republic of Korea." The moment I heard those words, I collapsed. I just sat down and cried. Relief at surviving, and guilt for leaving my family. Everything came rushing at once. Joint Interrogation Center. National Intelligence Service investigators interrogated me for several days. I confessed everything. Organization structure, hacking methods, list of victim exchanges, Kim Jong-un's slush fund accounts. And I took out the USB. Inside here is their heart. The investigators analyzed the USB. Their faces gradually hardened, expressions of shock and anger.